New news from the Lone Star State and our own Potomac Watch columnist Kim Strassel, who joins us from Washington to talk about a very interesting race. Welcome, Kim.
I'm Mary.
Kim, so Texas Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst won 47% of the GOP primary vote Tuesday, but challenger Ted Cruz won 31%, and Mr. Cruz is claiming victory. Why?
Well, because the Texas primary rules have it that if you don't get to 50%, that there is a runoff. And this was Mr. Cruz's huge goal throughout this primary. There were a number of people running in this primary. He wanted to hold Mr. Dewhurst to under 50% so that he could force a runoff. He managed to do that. And so now we go on another 9 weeks of campaigning going into the end of July, where those two will run off against each other. And Mr. Cruz is of the belief that he may be able to consolidate some of the support that had gone to some of the other candidates and give Mr. Dewhurst a run for his money.
Now, Kim, this is still a pretty big gap, 47% to 31%. How is Mr. Cruz going to close this gap, and can he?
Well, one of the interesting things about this, there has been this discussion of Mr. Dewhurst as being the establishment candidate, Mr. Cruz being the Tea Party candidate. It's become this article of faith that you are grassroots if you get the endorsement of Club for Growth and Senator Jim DeMint, Sarah Palin, which Mr. Cruz did. I think what that is overlooked is that Mr. Dewhurst has had a lot of support in the state himself, in particular from the business community and the Texas Medical Association, the Cattle Raisers Association, realtors, people who run restaurants. And this has been his pitch, that he's a big business guy and that he would be better equipped because of that. So this is why he had these huge numbers. He's got a lot of support in the state, also among social conservative groups. And so it's going to be hard to close that gap, in particular, too, because Mr. Dewhurst has a lot of money.
I've just lost audio on this end, unfortunately, Kim. So I'm going to move on to the next question. And hopefully you didn't just answer it in that last answer. I wanted to ask you specifically about the Tea Party. This is being positioned as a Tea Party versus establishment race. Is that true, or is it a little more nuanced than that?
Yeah, that's a little bit like what I was saying, and that there has been this impression that Mr. Cruz has all the Tea Party support and he is the grassroots candidate. But actually, both of these guys have held positions in state government. They've been in politics in Texas for a while, and both of them ended up having a fair amount of support on both sides from the business community, from establishment figures. And so right now, Mr. Dewhurst has managed to do a better job of consolidating that support.
Okay, Kim. Now, one question about the process here. And again, no audio on this end, so I hope you didn't just answer this question. But this primary was originally supposed to be held in March. What happened with the delay here? Tell our viewers.
Well, everything in Texas is complicated. You know, every single time there's a redistricting process and that comes after the census, every state goes through it, but Texas, it's always a bloodbath. This happened back after the last redistricting. You had, as you might remember, a lot of problems with Tom DeLay. This is when he got caught up in things for a while. The Democrats left the state so that there couldn't be a quorum, there couldn't be a vote on the redistricting plan. This happened again after the 2010 census. The plan that ended up going in Texas went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And as a result, as they were fighting over this, the primary got delayed up until now. It's been a real problem for the Texas voters because some of them didn't even know what district they were in or who was running in it until not long ago.